Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Is the federal government hurting or helping working Americans? That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Even though there was some good economic news today, which Lou Dobbs will analyze shortly, the key indicator of economic strength in America, wages, remains flat. This year, the average hourly wage in this country has increased by just 2%. Many economists believe because there are not enough jobs, workers have to take less pay. It seems to make sense. President Obama, though, he believes that the federal government can change that situation. However, in 5 years, his theory has not produced results. Nevertheless, the president remains undaunted.
We need to set aside the belief that government cannot do anything about reducing inequality. It's true that government cannot prevent all the downsides of the technological change and global competition that are out there right now. But we've also seen how government action time and again can make an enormous difference in increasing opportunity and bolstering ladders into the middle class.
An enormous difference? I haven't seen it. Have you? Maybe he's talking about FDR's New Deal or Social Security or something like that. But presently, big government and high taxation seem to be holding back the private sector and job creation. And the left seems to want it that way. Yesterday, the New York Times editorialized, quote, "The emphasis on cutting taxes and spending that began in the Reagan years is a direct result of economic insecurity now. It has led, for example, to education cuts that have harmed children in low-income school districts. Reversing those decisions can still have an enormous impact," unquote. But under President Obama, America is spending more money on education than any other nation in the world. Also, taxes have been going up, and we have record debt. But the left wants more spending and even higher taxes. Simply put, the big government spending machine has not helped the economy very much. But again, liberal theory trumps results.
And the idea that so many children are born into poverty in the wealthiest nation on earth is heartbreaking enough. But the idea that a child may never be able to escape that poverty because she lacks a decent education or health care, or a community that views her future as their own, that should offend all of us.
Well, it certainly offends me. If children are not getting a good education or do not have proper health care, I'm offended. But you cannot bankrupt the entire nation on some ideological quest for income equality. In a capitalistic system, that's impossible. A Wall Street Journal editorial yesterday was blunt, quote, "Mr. Obama returned to his favorite theme of rising income inequality. He ought to know, since few presidents have done more to increase inequality than he has. Median household income has fallen since the economic recovery began, while the rich who own capital assets have done very well." Now, two things. First, the reason there is such a wide gap between the rich and the poor in America is technology. We're living in a time where people who have tech skills will make money, and people who have few skills will struggle. And the president's nanny state mentality is not going to change that. Second, American children must master skills in school. But President Obama has done very little to reform the teachers' unions, to encourage discipline in the public schools, and to be blunt about why some kids fail. The primary reason children do not learn is that their parents are chaotic, apathetic, or not around. It all comes back to parenting and to discipline in the public schools. Money doesn't have much to do with it. When I taught high school in Miami, private school, but a poor school, I had 45 kids in my class. No air conditioning. The school could barely afford chalk. Yet most of those kids learned and prospered. Why? Because they were forced to. President Obama lives in a world of theory. He's not a problem solver. He wants to throw money at everything. His big government programs are failing, period. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction. Joining us from Los Angeles, radio talk show host Ebony Williams, and from Washington, Fox News analyst Dennis Kucinich. So where am I going wrong here, Mr. Kucinich?
Bill, it's not that you're wrong. It's that you're talking about a level of analysis that may need to be updated. Let me give you an example. There are 50 million Americans living in poverty right now. Income inequality is not simply an economic and political matter, it's a moral matter, as Pope Francis spoke about a couple weeks ago. We need to recognize that income inequality has been built into our system, that, for example, the top 13,400 households have more yearly income than 96 million Americans. We have a problem here where a system...
All right, so what is your solution to that? To seize assets from the upper, to take their money away from them?
No, but we have to recognize there are moral issues here that go back 122
What's your
years.
solution to it?
Just know where it's coming from. You know,
No,
you look at
I know. We all understand.
Leo the
What
13th,
is
Rerum
your-
Novarum,
what
the rights
is
of
your
the rights
solution?
of workers and capital, jobs for all.
Jobs
Absolutely.
for all.
Have
What does
to have
that
a full
mean?
employment
Is it?
economy.
Wait. What does
Every
that mean?
able-bodied person should be able to get a job.
Okay, so
and,
the government...
if the private sector isn't providing them, the public sector has to.
Okay, so you would hire, the federal government, under Dennis Kucinich, would hire people and pay them how much? How much a year?
A living wage, millions of people back to work, prime the pump of the economy. We need to bring an America back which is built on high wages.
Stop the theory. Stop it.
That's not theory. It's fact.
Yes, it is. So you would guarantee everybody who wanted a job at a certain living wage. Do you know what that wage would be? Do you know?
You could start at $12 an hour.
All right, so you start at $12 an hour.
Rebuild America's bridges, roads, water systems, sewer systems.
That would be paid for by you'd have to raise taxes enormously.
No, you would not. I'll tell you what the problem is. We not only need a policy for jobs, we need monetary reform, because it used to be that the government had the ability to be able to create money to meet its needs. Now we have to borrow money from banks. We have to repeal the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, reclaim the power to be able to create money and handle the needs of the nation, whether it be economic,
I don't
social,
have
or
3
whatever.
hours for that. With $17 trillion in debt, I assume for your vision to give everybody a job and pay them at least 12, and it'd have to go up from there, you need to have a much higher system. All right, Ebony,
yes.
What is your vision of income equality? What would you do to make that happen?
Absolutely, Bill. I think the problem with that phrasing is people automatically think wealth redistribution. I hate the concept of income inequality. I want to talk about opportunity inequality, Bill. I want to talk about access inequality, because the income inequality issue is just a byproduct of a much deeper concern, which is opportunity and access. And that, for me, starts in education.
You want more opportunity for whom? For whom?
For everyone, but particularly
Everyone.
I'll speak about people that are disproportionately affected by a suppressed job market, Bill. I'm talking about young urban men. I'm talking about still women.
All right, okay, let's talk about young urban men.
Absolutely.
All right? So they don't have as much opportunity as white people who are educated, obviously, because they can't do the job.
It's a skill set gap.
Right,
Absolutely,
right.
absolutely.
So how do you close that? How?
I think that we need to be much more specific and comprehensive, Bill, when we talk about education reform. Now, I agree with something in your talking point when you talked about throwing money at the problem doesn't fix it. I am a progressive. I am all about compassion.
Give me one way that you close the skill set gap. How?
We talk about changing the curriculums in schools. We don't need kids just going to classes just for the sake of being in school. We need kids learning skill sets that can be marketable in our, as you said,
if they can't read and they don't care.
Yes. Well, those are family problems. I'm with you, Bill. The government can't fix everything, but what government can do...
So you're agreeing with me that the government can't fix that, and
they can be
going to go on
helpful, in education reform, Bill, and more than just money. More than just money.
All right. Ebony, Dennis, thank you very much. Next on the Rundown, Lou Dobbs will react to the debate and to the